And we also know from the writings of Sister White that in the last days, these 11th hour workers that God is going to call forth, the 11th hour workers Sister White talks about, she talks about young men and young women in particular. And they're going to see the mark of the beast, and they're going to stand up for truth, and they're going to proclaim the gospel in the midst of the persecution of the world. And maybe the closest example to that is in Nazi Germany. There was a group of teenagers in the early 1940s who realized what was happening, and I think they were called the White Rose Movement or White Lily Movement, but they were very brave in putting out posters and calling for reform. They were eventually captured and executed by the Nazis, but their example moved many people in Germany to realize what was happening was profoundly wrong. And so in some of these stories, the young people, they pay for their principles with their lives, and in others, God protects and preserves them. And we don't know when we enter this journey what God is going to allow to happen to us. All we can say is, Lord, may I be faithful to you today no matter what happens. So I believe that at the end of time, God is going to use young men and women, boys and girls, to preach the everlasting gospel. I believe that when the Holy Spirit is poured out in the latter rain, that God will do incredible things through teenagers. Sister White says that large parts of the human machinery will be swept away. That is the Adventist church structure. The conference, union, division structure will be swept away when the outpouring of the latter rain comes upon this world. And she also says that there is coming a time where God will take the reins of the work in his hands, and we will be astonished at how simple things are. And so I believe that young people are not so interested in preserving the institutions or the power structures of the past. They're more interested in preparing people to meet Jesus, which is what I want to do. And so if your focus is on preparing people to meet Jesus rather than on preserving the institutions of the past, you're a much more ready vessel for the Holy Spirit to work through to proclaim the gospel to the ends of the world. So if you have a love for souls, if you have a burden for the lost, if you want to stand up for truth, if you want the Holy Spirit to do incredible things through you, if you're willing to risk everything for God, no matter what the cost may be, then God will do incredible things through you. And there is no limits to what God can do through a young man or woman who is wholly consecrated to God.